Mr. Lu, you're spreading fake news. How can there be 300,000 people being kidnapped in Myanmar region to work as scammers? This is fake news you're spreading. On top of that, I don't even think this whole thing is real. It's just a ploy given by some Western media to attack China again or to bring down the tourism of Thailand. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've gotten a lot of feedback on the last video that I've done on the scam operations in Myanmar, and I would like to address them, and let's see where the source of the information come from and for you to assess how real the risk is. Okay, let's watch and see. The last video I've done has caught the attention globally. I'm surprised that there are so many people very interested in the news, and a large proportion of people actually took my advice quite seriously. But there is a fraction of people who actually think that this whole thing is just another fake news, that I'm just out to bring down the image of Thailand and China. So first and foremost, I have got no issue with China and Thailand. I'm always largely a finance educator, but this thing is of such a keen interest that I highlighted it. But let's watch on, shall we, and see where my source of information is from, and you judge for yourself how real is this. So these are some of the comments I pulled out from 700 comments. Not that majority of people actually disbelieve, but it's enough for me to draw attention. So as he said, 300,000 fake news, 300,000 fake news, right? 300,000 fake news, and there's not a single advisory issue for any country. Everybody who actually written on this just can't believe in the scale of the operation, and asked me, have I personally worked there or gone there and see myself? If I'm gone there, I don't think I'll be able to come back. Let's see where I got this information from. Actually, there are a few places that actually announced this number. So if you look at Comris, it actually says that modern day high-tech slavery, 300,000 scammers were in compound in Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos. I think majority of these scammers are actually operating out of Myanmar, and sadly, they actually account for $39 billion being scammed annually. 500,000 people are working as scammers, right? According to the estimate. The URL link is here. You can look for yourself. And there's another report by USIP Senior Study Group, and they issue a very formal report. It's a very extensive report. You can read for yourself. I post the URL link here. But it actually says this very clearly. Today, there are estimated 300,000 cyber scammers in the Mekong region, many of which are held captive in prison-like conditions and are forced to work long hours, scamming unsuspecting victims, often victimizing people from their own country. The labor force inside the compounds is controlled by armed Chinese gangs, and the external security is typically in the hands of local militia or police. And it's quite sad to do this. Now, is it 300,000? Is it 150,000 or 200,000? I think it's hard to say with accuracy, but safe to say the number is a very big number. And I've already shown you guys in a previous video the compound, that one of the areas that they operate is 150 football fields large and things like that. So this is not a number I picked from the air. We can challenge, it could be half of this, or it could be 1/3 of this, right? Even 10% of this is a phenomenal number. So I'll just say that, while you may be suspicious of some of this number, but this number has independent reports on it. Even the Chinese media are also reporting this number right now. I won't go deep into this given that we are English video. I think there are people who actually raise this concern that why is Wang Xing, the actor who was being kidnapped, the only one that's being saved? There are so many people. So they are thinking that maybe it's only a few hundred people. He was the one lucky one being saved. Well, let's look at the detail itself, right? So before the post blew up, the girlfriend and the brother tried to track him down and get the police involved, but there has been little results. Chinese police have yet to register a case, while the embassy in Thailand has simply advised Wang's family to approach the police in Mae Sot. Mae Sot is the city just beside Mewadi, which is the Thailand place where all the scam cities are. Clearly, the girlfriend and the brother has got very little results, and as a result, they took the whole thing to the public media, and soon it went viral. Soon the post became viral with many prominent actors and singers reposting it. This forced the officials to register a case, and after that, because of the publicity that it attracts, Wang Xing was being rescued from a scam center across the border. I don't think there were like police that went in and stormed the place rescued a person out, arrested a lot of kidnappers and things like that. It was just him being able to be released out. Okay, I think the word is it should be released rather than rescued. No, so and if you were to read some of this, I have to read in Chinese first. Then I'll translate for you. So the people who said this that 王兴能这么快被营救出来，是从报道看起来是泰方警方直接介入。实际上，我们都知道，一定是中共官方打了招呼，因为东南亚这些国家，它早就是中共的这个势力范围。Commenters feel that he's being able to be released is because there is government to government, police to police link between China and Thailand government to secure the release of this person. And I'll just say this guy is lucky because his girlfriend and his brother managed to blow up the case so big. And to be frank, I've seen many police in other countries as well. If there is no publicity of a large scale, the police rarely want to act as well. This is just human behavior. This is a normal police behavior. And the smaller the case is, the more the police don't care. There's another Chinese model called Yang Zeqi, which has also been found in Myanmar as well. Again, expected to be released without ransom. I'll just say this, that if you want to be rescued from these places, you better be some celebrity or some prominence, or else I think there's very little hope. So the best thing is not to get yourself being in such a situation where you're being trapped. Now, a lot of people say that, number one, Thailand is a very safe place. I've been to Thailand 50 times, 1,000 times for holiday. Nothing has happened to me. And the second thing is that the locals there also say it's very safe and things like that. The third thing, which is most concerning, is most of the people who are adding comments to this in a negative way says that this Chinese zhu zai, I directly translate called piglet, I may have translated wrongly, or people who are being kidnapped to become scammers, they deserve it because they are greedy and they are gullible. They fall for this ploy to trick them to work in Thailand, and they are being gullible. So they deserve it. So as long as you don't go to Thailand expecting to work, you should be fine. As tourists, nothing will happen to you because we Singaporeans, we Malaysians, we whoever have been there for holidays, well, so safe a place, right? And you look at these comments here, right? Thailand is so safe as long as you don't put a target on body. How can you blame Thailand, blah, 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 and so on. As long as you don't fall for jobs that promise you easy life, high salary, that requires you work to Thailand, Myanmar, you'll be safe and things like that. Asking people not to travel to Thailand is a bit too much. Well, I'll just say this, watch the following news and you judge for yourself how safe Thailand is for you for your holidays. A 27-year-old woman from China has been feared to be kidnapped for about $1 million ransom in Singapore, has been found by police at a shopping mall at Bangkok. Okay, this is a tourist. Two tourists abandoned by a driver who promised to take them to Chiang Mai were likely targeted by human traffickers. Thai police allegedly involved in Bangkok hotel in a kidnap of Chinese tourists, right? And according to him, a college graduate Jiaxi traveled to Thailand for the first time with a Chinese friend who have known less than 6 months through social media, and she was being targeted as well, and so on, right? So there are cases of tourists now being targeted, but this is not the biggest news of tourists being targeted. Hong Kong singer Asen Chan has just cancelled his Bangkok concert after the Chinese actor Wang Xing's kidnapping. Why did he cancel his Thailand trip? Is it because he's worried about his own safety? Come on, you must be joking, right? People like him will have 10 security guards beside him and things like that. No, it wasn't because of him. Watch the report. His organizers actually said this, but the safety of the audience, his audience members, is the utmost important to Asen and us. Considering the recent safety regarding travel to Thailand and Chinese fans and for other countries, the concert stop in Bangkok has been cancelled after internal discussion. And since then, this case, there are many cancellation of travels from China to Thailand as well. And by the way, he's a very famous singer. I enjoy his song as well. So the news media reported that his concert has been earmarked by kidnapping organization as an event to 进货, gather stock. And the stock are, of course, this 猪仔, which is people that can kidnap to become scammers. This is a very, very big high-risk event for Asen. So that's why his organizers actually canceled the event, return the money, make some losses and things like that. But they rather do that than to run the risk of their tourist audience being kidnapped. So you tell me whether this risk is real or not. just because you have been there many times as English-speaking Singaporean or with bad Mandarin-speaking Singaporeans kind of accent, you are safe doesn't mean that it is a safe place, and that could run a risk as well that they mistake us for Chinese and things like that. That will be a disaster. And another comedian, Zhao Ben Shan, also cancelled his performance in Bangkok in the same day as well. And these are real events being cancelled. So you tell me whether there is a risk or not for Chinese tourists, okay? And we are unfortunately ethnically Chinese and Chinese looking. So I don't know whether there's a risk of mistaken identity. After I run this story, it came to my notice that a lot of Singaporean Chinese, especially, are very, very loyal to their homeland race. And the minute I talk something bad about the Chinese government or things like that, they get very upset, emotionally upset. And some even call me unpatriotic to my race, use very harsh language and things like that, and so on, right? First of all, I identify myself racially as a Chinese. I think I speak better Mandarin than most Mandarin-speaking Singaporeans. I mix with Chinese friends from China. Very often, I've got China staff as well. So I've got nothing against the Chinese government on this front. I just call a spade a spade. So on the question of does the Chinese government care for its people in this event is something very controversial, right? So, but let's hear what people say, right? So people say, I disagree with you that you say Chinese government doesn't care for its citizens, okay? And I don't think it's necessary to blame China for not caring for these people and blah, blah, blah. This is a subjective thing, but let me give you my opinion. First, we must agree that there are many, many tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of Chinese, mainland Chinese being forced to work in unwilling environment in Myanmar. I think we can now establish this as a fact. The number is up to you, Billy, but it's not a small number. If I quote a number of tens of thousands, most people will agree with me. 300,000 may be pushing a limit, but I'll show you where the sources is. In Singapore, we just need one Singaporean being kidnapped in this environment. Our Singapore government, we have all the confidence. The MFA, the Singapore police will go all out to rescue us. Right? That is something we have confidence in our government. But right now, we already have so many mainland Chinese being held on this thing. What on earth is the Chinese government doing about them? It's a big question, right? So we have now many cases of Chinese families calling out for help over these Thai job scams of their sons being kidnapped in these places. This is a mother begging the officials to help and things like that. There's a petition document now to fill up. The case is increasing, blah, blah, blah. But safe to say, many of the parents are asking for help right now in China. So the question is, does the Chinese government care? The answer could be two possibilities. The Chinese government either don't care or cannot do anything about it because it's too far away. Now, the fact that the Chinese government or the Thai government could get Wang Xing released within 24 hours means that more people could be released. Why is that not happening? Have you ever asked this question? Is it because Wang Xing is from a rich family, they pay the ransom? From what I understand, Wang Xing could went there simply because he's financially not well to do. So the question is this: either the Chinese government doesn't care or they are powerless to do things about it. So the question really is, why is there still so many people held against their will? Or they maybe these tens of thousands or few hundred thousand Chinese scammers are willing to go there by themselves, willing to stay there and enjoy making money scamming our people, right? Could only be this possibility. So you judge for yourself whether the Chinese government care. Now there is another question. Does the Thai government care? I would just say this. I don't think they cared that much in the past, but I think now they will care. Because right now, the number of tourists has fallen significantly and people are concerned about the safety in Thailand, and it's giving Thailand government a bad image. So I think we are also cognizant that this whole thing, Thailand is a victim because it's just used as a port of transit, port of kidnapping for these scam operations right now. Thailand itself is all the while been very safe. We all Singaporeans and Malaysians go there for holidays as tourists, generally safe, okay, but clearly has increasingly become unsafe. There are people who question out, where do you get this figure from? The Chinese kill more Chinese than Japanese. Your observation, Chinese themselves kill Chinese far exceed those number of Japanese. Do you know Nanking massacre? The number is also so. Let me give you the actual numbers to give a bit of a historical context. There's no doubt that the Japanese during World War II killed a lot of people. Nanking Massacre, I think 200,000 people were killed. In Nanking Massacre, the number of people killed was about 100 to 300,000 people. And in the whole of World War II, the number varies, but it ranges between 15 to 30 million people and things like that. There's a lot of people being killed, and we recognize that. On that note, Nanking Massacre of 100 to 300,000 people being killed sounds like a very big number. Do you know that in Singapore, it's also allegedly that 100,000 Singapore Chinese were killed as well, and nobody talk about it, right? Okay, so I just want to say that it's matter of historical prominence of certain event, the cruelty or whatsoever, but no doubt the Japanese killed a lot of Chinese. But let me give you this historical fact straight. If you cumulatively look at the modern history, that means maybe 1800s to now or whatsoever, the number of Chinese killing the Chinese is far more than 10 to 30 million people. Okay, the Taiping Rebellion, okay, has wiped out estimated number of 20 million lives. For some people who don't know the Taiping Rebellion, please go and read up. It's a revolution started by Hong Xiuquan in this organization. Funny thing is that it's actually a Christian organization called Taiping Tianguo, or at least they profess to be Christian and attempt to overthrow the Qing dynasty. That event already killed 20 million people. The civil war between the Kuomintang and the communists killed a lot of people as well. And of course, this is a very sad situation where there was a great Chinese famine. Now, some people say, how can you blame famine as a thing? But this famine is 100% caused by humans, okay? Because of Mao Zedong and his bad policy, where he actually caused this whole famine, and the number of deaths estimated is between 15 to 55 million. Cumulatively, it's a number far bigger than what the Japanese killed. I'm not saying that the Japanese didn't kill a lot of Chinese. I'm saying that, I think Chinese caused a lot more deaths on Chinese. Let's not think that history is on the side of Chinese being kind to Chinese. Let me say this categorically clear. Chinese culturally in his history has no qualms killing Chinese. No qualms. Now we have got Chinese scam organizations scamming their own Chinese by deploying kidnapped victims from China. All this is something shouldn't be unexpected. Stop using your cultural brain to think that we Chinese are very loyal to our own Chinese race, right? That you got to wake up. But all said and done, the good news is Singaporean Mandarin standard is really, really very bad. I don't think majority of us could actually hold a telephone conversation in Mandarin and convincingly scam someone. So I think because of that, our risk is much lower. I can't say the same for people from Hong Kong, from Taiwan, from Malaysia, where their verbal Chinese standard is generally much higher. I think the risk is higher on their side. If you look at some of the numbers here, I think our language most spoken at home in English has gone up to 50% and Mandarin has gone down to 30% and so on. So our Chinese dialect is now totally going to be extinct in Singapore. So I think our Mandarin standard is CMI, and that is a saving grace. So maybe because of that, Singaporeans going to Thailand, as long as you speak English loudly, and I think you should be safer. So to sum up, whether Thailand is a safe place for holiday or not, you decide for yourself. And we need to know, at least with our eyes open, things are happening in Thailand and at a very large scale. But for you, maybe, nothing will ever happen to you. So you judge for yourself. As for the rest of you, watch this as entertainment, watch this as news, and decide what your perspective is. But most importantly, be careful next time you get a scam call from a Chinese-speaking individual from DHL or from UPS, from Singpost or from banks whatsoever. Just be careful. These are quite serious matters, okay? So with this, thank you, and I'll see you in a day or two. Bye-bye.